They do apologize for some issues with the decks. They just made a notice. Me, myself, didn't have that many issues outside of just selecting the leader skill, but hopefully I don't get more issues than just that. And I'm gonna just be sacking a pull and an LD5 from this scroll just because. Okay, that was absolutely useless. Either. Okay, so I was about to end the video, and then I did the summons that we did get from this thing all the way here at the bottom. And a little bit of a sneak peek for a future video, but not sure if you're gonna see that on the screen. So, yeah, that is... Let me just zoom that in a little bit. That is the ult. The ult just pulled an LD5. That's an interesting one right there. Well, I guess that's for a future video, so I'll see you there. So we did get Daniel on the ult. So let me also use this to kind of showcase the ult, how it got so far on, well, how many days are we in right now? We are on 17 days, so not even 3 weeks, a little bit more than 2.5 weeks right now. Did already pull an LD5 right there. And we did already also join the plus 200 speed club on a Tiana in this case. So if we were to place that on an actual fast unit... Wait, what is a fast unit that doesn't have any runes at the moment? Do you have anything? Yeah, so a 203 set on a little bit of a faster unit right there. So is mainly by this quad over here. We already got a quad. I got a few quads already. I think there's like a few quads on like HP and that kind of stuff as well. But I'll talk about like all of the things I got thus far in just a moment. But yeah, let's see we're gonna use Daniel, because I think Daniel can be okay for RTA, Arena offense, and Siege offense. But I did do a little bit of testing earlier, and he's actually a little bit more disappointed than I thought, because the very first idea I had was this. So we have a Tiana over here that is more of a nuking style, so therefore is a bit lower on the speed. Don't have the grinds for that yet. This thing moving at the end, and then this thing going for pushbacks and death breaks. And then for the death breaks, the Tiana can actually land a lot of damage. That was the idea behind it. So if we're heading a tanky team like this, then you do have one issue. Is that you don't really deplete the attack bar by that much because of the ticks in normal. In RTA, the ticks are a little bit more close to one another. So if you put something to lower attack bar, they don't gain like, what, 20% attack bar on that final hit. So this one is barely even there. So in this case... yeah, we also get resisted, which is kind of an issue on Daniel, which is also one of those things. I'm not too sure if I'm kind of happy about dodging this unit on my main or not. But in here, yeah, definitely not as good as I was thinking it might be. Sure, you have this if you actually properly land. Yeah, that's not really going to be a siege hit right there. So then I also tried it in Arena Offense. So Arena Offense, I was working towards having a team with Trix and Amber. I did pick up this unit as well, which is kind of nice for speed lead, which I will showcase in a second. Let's just hit my own defense for just a few times just to see like how things go. So first of all, I had the idea, how about this one? So you do have a pushback for 100% attack bar pushback. And then we still have you for like the speed lead. So if I kind of want to outspeed things, just for the idea of it. So if we go for this, if we go for that, it can potentially full pushback. But you can already see the issue over here, right? I 100% attack bar pushback. But look at how much attack bar all of these units have. So how much damage are we going to do right now? Yeah, we're going to drop it to like 50% HP. That is nowhere near enough where I'm like, yo, this is going to be anything interesting. Because right now, I still have a lot of damage to do to actually clean anything up. And I was kind of hoping him for more of like a nuking kind of style. If we were to get an additional turn right now, then this thing would kind of die. No, I got resist on that. It's also one of those things. It kind of works. But I think you need something with a little bit more pushbacks. So then I went on to the next team. This one, oh, that's for like an Amber cleanup at the end. So idea is kind of the same. It's actually kind of nice that I can preset all of those things in decks right now. It takes a little bit more time to set everything up, but once it's set up, decks are so chill. Like that's definitely a thing. So we do have a bit of damage over here right now, and then we can kind of go in with an Amber for a cleanup and you for a cleanup, and then most things are kind of dead-ish, which kind of works-ish, but still not really the biggest of fans right there. Next thing I tried is like, how about we get a slow in there, and then we also push back more. So if we slow, we push back, then we can maybe get a thing or two out there. So if we do this, we get this one in for slows. We have double hit pushbacks. Now we're actually looking at very low attack bars. and now we can go in for this skill, and now it's actually doing proper damage. The only thing is, we're not really doing proper damage to get anywhere near cleanups. That's the only thing right now. But if this fully lands, then yes, then we're actually talking about proper pushbacks and proper things and lowering all of the damage by a good bit. But in the end, it is kind of the issue still that I would rather see a unit that adds a little bit more to the table while placing slows than I have with this Spectral right now, which I haven't really found a proper solution just yet. If you have a proper solution for a slow unit, that I might have, so don't start claiming all kinds of net 5s that I most likely don't have. Let me know. Something that kind of multi-hits, does do a bit of chip damage, anything like that with a slow in there. And then, because this team does provide me the Tyrone, which does have a speed lead, which is kind of nice. But then a friend of mine actually mentioned this one, because normally he said he's using Chongpeng, but this thing actually puts things to 0 attack bar, which is better than an decrease of 100%, because if the enemy is at 150, you're gonna put it to 50. This thing is gonna put it to actual 0. And then we still have Amber for the cleanup over here. So let's see if this does actually work out or not. It is by how much I can outspeed with the Tiana in this case. And this is also a hit on wrong element in a lot of cases, which is a little bit bad in that kind of sense. But if we do land it, that's a lot of damage. We already have 1 debuff on the enemy, so therefore Amber can already do a decent bit of damage. And I think that this might be the hit that I'm enjoying the most. I was also thinking of, like, should I not take the Lamea, because I'm planning to switch out my Tasha for a Lamea. And because, well, I'll explain it in a future video, and I already explained it in previous videos too. But I don't really need the Tasha later on. However, the Lamea can be really nice for my offense in the first place. But if I have this as an LD5 right now, do I still want to have a Lamea? Or do I actually want to start working with a unit like this? Because this team is actually working pretty proper. So let's start using this against some offenses in the real deal. And let's also go for my main offense that I have, that I was using before. I'm not sure if my defense is runed up on a slightly bit faster version of it. Yeah, I think it's actually runed up on a faster version of it right now. But let me show you the main offense that I was doing before. This thing should definitely be doable. Lamea would definitely be stronger in this hit as well. So we do have will runes on that for that reason. We can go for pushbacks. We can go for this. And then we can... Actually, maybe I want you to move in front of you. But left way, right way around is kind of fine either how. So we can go for this. That is fine. We start killing things. That is kind of bad, but that's why we have the Varimals. That is definitely bad. I don't have as much tankiness as I have on the main, of course. And yeah, this thing started going for a whole bunch of annoying stuff right now. Can we still win this? It's getting kind of close. It's getting kind of close. Also, on normal, I have just better tanky runes for pretty much everything, which does really help out. And then if they start proccing, it's definitely a bit more of an issue. But I think we might still be good to go. You should die to... wait, if you healed that, would you still die? I think you would actually still die. Let's make sure you die. Okay, I might get fucked by Camilla's right now. Because Camilla starts hitting this thing. That's bad, that's bad, that's bad. Can we stun it? Can't stun it. I'm not sure how much crit rate I have. I have too much crit rate. Okay, focus that one. I don't mind if you focus that one. Uh-oh, that's an issue. So yeah, that's kind of a thing. This account against Camilla's is just still kind of bad, especially if RNG doesn't really go in your favor. If everything landed, it would have been a bit better, but also that's the thing where a Lamea would have just shredded the whole team, because these kind of things make it somewhat annoying. Mainly because Lamea needs to land the provoke to not have them start cleansing and that kind of shit right away. Same with this one before. So let's actually use this team instead. And let's see if this actually does look a little bit better with the damn Daniel. So we have this. We cannot land properly on you most likely, but that is fine. Is it kind of fine though? I'm not too sure actually. Meditate on that. That is still okay-ish. This is also a hit that could do something. Let's go for this or not. I'm not liking the RNG that we're having right now on all of these shits. Yikes. 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 And I don't have cleanups right there. And that... Man, can we just properly land our shit for a change? Fucking hell, man. Yeah, that's kind of a thing. Like, it's really close to killing, but it's not necessarily fully killing. And that's where a Lamea coming in would simply just do a lot more value, I think. But if we're not fighting any fires, that makes things a lot easier right there. Okay, we did miss on you right there. So, yeah, this team, it still kind of leaves everything with like 1 HP all the time. Whereas I'm pretty sure that a Lamea team would just shred the whole thing. Like, even if I have bad artifacts, it would just shred the whole thing. Whereas with this team, it's often like, yeah, almost that, not really that, I lose. So, is the Daniel that good for arena offense? I'm not sure. Maybe I just need a little bit more chip damage that if you were to do this with, let's say, a Changpeng, or you would do this with a maybe even a Bat. Now, Bat is also not pushing things to zeros. I think with the Changpeng, it is kind of better, but it's also one of those things, the moment you miss one pushback on anything, it's immediately rip full damage. Like the full damage, the output that we're supposed to have on the right side, it's not there. So if you land everything, it's kind of nice, but it's also kind of niche. So therefore, I do still think that the Lamea team would probably do a bit more. And he might be more of an RTA unit, but even in RTA, he seems a little bit more niche, actually, than really good, from what I've seen thus far. If you guys have any other suggestions of teams of what I should use with a Daniel, let me know. Preferably by people that actually do own a Daniel themselves and not have the idea of like, if I had a Daniel, I would have done this, because I was also one of those people. But yeah, it's not really feeling as strong as I would have hoped it to be. The main issue is you just have to land everything. Like, if you miss something, it's immediately kind of like, kind of bad. Plus, Amber and Tricks and everything are just so strong already. So in this case, we do land about everything, and then things are looking very much rainbow and sunshines, and then it's super nice. But yeah, that's just the thing. You kind of have to land everything. And Lamea Tricks Amber combination would have already done that, if not better. That's also one of those things. So this does enable me a little bit more for outspeeds if I were to find something on a Tyrone kind of slots, where I would do that with the Tyrone of the pushback, but then I would need some AoE slow that also provides some kind of value of a little bit of chip damage early on. I could see a world where you go for Bludja. Bludja would actually be really good, because Bludja does have pushbacks. Oh, wait, the slow is on the S2. Fuck, I thought the slow was on the S3 for a second. How about you? Do you have slow on the S3? You do have attack bar absorb, but your slow is also on a different skill, is it not? No, this one does actually have the slow in here as well. Ooh, that could be Theodora. Could be an interesting one for that as well. Cardinal could be an interesting one. It does have AoE slow. Rika. Actually, Rika would be really nice, because you place AoE dots. The moment they take a turn, they would die. Yeah, Rika would be really good with that. So you have Rika into Tyrone, into Daniel, into Tiana. That would actually make Rika really, really good. So there's definitely a few options out there that could be pretty nice to actually have it going. Annabelle, skill 3, also does have AoE slow and a lot of multi-hits, so you would definitely land those in the first place. I think Rika and Amber are probably Rika and Annabelle probably the ones that I'm looking most towards to maybe give this a potential, because they also have enough chip damage where it would probably do enough. So I would even lean more towards an Annabelle than I would lean towards a Rika. But since there's a lot of options that could kind of do that, I think I will still go for the Lamea, because Lamea is just so all-round. She will be good in about like every PvP content out there, and she's really easy to build. So I think I will still go for Lamea rather than going for a unit that really does help out the Daniel in that case. Are there any ways that might do it? Ooh, you do have a slow on this. That is also Iselia could also be a thing. This one does also. Ooh, wait, Cicero might actually be a thing, because Cicero already has pushbacks. So this strip pushback, I could even put like, don't put the Tiana in there, because this thing technically already strips, so that could also be a thing. But it is a bit of an inconsistent strip. However, I could do the combination of going for Tricks first, then Cicero, then going for, ooh, that could actually be a thing. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be building a Sys room. Okay, took me a few minutes, but I was like, fuck it. Just gonna do it in this video anyways, because I want to see if this does actually work. Did already make the effort to rune that up in the deck. Man, I'm loving decks so much. So this will be the team. And we have you move into you move into you move into you move, and everything supposedly is on will runes. Yes, sir. Okay, let's see if this does actually work. I do expect enemy team to be pretty tanky. So if we do this could already provide slows, but didn't in this case. Then this also didn't provide that many slows. Issues. Also double strip, no strip. And then you cannot push back that. And you could still stun this, but you would actually have to be able to... Yeah. Fuck! Is it just bad RNG, or is this team just not really that great? Like, that's kind of the thing. We do have some units that can kind of work for CCing late if they don't have a lot of annoying passives. Also, I'm not super high on accuracy on everything. Like, not everything is fully maxed, and this could be a team that has high resistances throughout. That could be a thing. Too bad that this team doesn't provide any dots. If it did also provide some dots, it would have been a little bit nicer. Because the dots do make it... Wait, are we going to move in front of this, or is he going to taunt me? He did not taunt me, though. That's good. Yeah, everything is a little bit inconsistent for its lands, though. That's the only thing. Can we actually still win this? It's looking kind of grim. Okay, we could potentially still win this. I think I have to freeze you. And then freeze you both. And then provide some slows and pushbacks or whatnot. You are on low attack or HP bar right now. We'll reset you for this. I'm pretty sure Daniel is on max accuracy, though. That's the only one that I made sure that is full accuracy. Let's do this. Yeah, I think I'm gonna die. Yeah, this is just like, it's really looking like, oh, everything is nearly dead all the time. No, not really. Fuck me. Okay, let's try that again, because if we just at least start off with a strip on that first unit, it would be a lot different already, right? Okay, you are not max accuracy, but you are max accuracy, you are near max accuracy, and you are max accuracy. So, should be landing something, I guess. I hope, I pray. Let's go for this. Once again, did not activate. Did activate over there. In this case, we do have slow on most. Yeah, it's just still slow on most. It's not slow on all. And then we did not properly push back over there. At least we did stun over there. We do have a potential freeze over there, but I guess his whole team is high resistance or something. We do get a freeze over there. But yeah, everything is not looking as dead I would have liked to see them by now. That is definitely a thing. That is definitely an issue right there. You also still have skills available. Ooh, if the Daniel procs, it's kind of nice though. But yeah, then it's still not really dying. Okay, I already know. I'm just gonna get a fucking Lamea, man. Fuck this shit. Fuck this shit. Maybe it's good in RTA, but I'm getting a hella Lamea, man. This is... No, this is trash. You need a Chung Pong, or you need a Rika, or you need... Well, I guess with a Rika, this would be like a Tiana-Rika combination into a Tyrone, maybe would do something, but then it's still that your Tyrone could start missing shit. There's... Yeah, I think you just kind of want to have a... Chung Pong, maybe a Chung Pong Jamayer, so you can like reset things. Tiana, Chung Pong Jamayer, that's kind of what I'm having in mind right now. That might actually be strong. But yeah, if we compare this to the strength of a Lamea team, I think I'll go for the Lamea team. That's maybe a thing as... Yeah, that's not a maybe, that's just a thing. Normally I do have better artifacts or things. Like if I would do the team like this on my main, it would potentially just straight up die to artifacts, but... This is not as good as I was hoping it to. Especially not into that much of wrong element, but this is just one of those. If we rock in this, especially if there was a Lamea instead of the speed lead thingy over here. But if you just rock in this, okay, apparently we just have issues on landing any strips right now, but sure thing. Maybe I should have you move in front of the Amber, because then we can actually do something along these lines before we go for the S2. And... I feel like RNG not really on our side today. What the fuck is even this? Why did... The only thing that I got resisted on also had to proc out? Come on, man. Come on, man. Why is it like that? Why do you do it like this? Yeah, that's also like with the Lamela, the other units that were next to it would have just straight up died if there was a branding on it. So that's also one of those things. It's just a lot more chances for killing, a lot more potential for killing. So I think I'll be getting that Lamela at some point. Still want to do a little bit more Giants, but it's not that much more. And then I'll probably just get that Lamela because Giants, I think I will start scout battling at some point, and then I'll start doing raid for like normal farming or anything that I would want to do at normal farming at that time. But this is also... the RNG did not really work with this in this case. Also, I don't really have good Fio runes where I can make everything on Fio. But the moment that I switch out the unit on the left, I am most likely going to put the whole team on Swift because I'm farming more Giants than Dragons because I'm not farming any Dragons and not planning to farm any Dragons anytime soon. And with that, it should be still good to go for just getting in enough stats because in the end, you don't really need to Vio on this. You just need to survive. And sure, it's nice if an Amber Vios or something. Maybe I just try to throw like one Vio set on her. But if the others are just on Swift or Despair, it's totally fine. I could also make the whole team Despair if I get it at some point, which I already have 1 or 2 good runes for. That team is kind of AIDS. So yeah, definitely have to get that Lamela. Daniel, in the end, it's kind of did work. It kind of did work. There was the one team with the Wuchi, which I kind of like, which is this one. But it's also not too much of potential for outspeeding out there. But this team was kind of okay if I were to put a speed lead over here that can also do a little bit of chip damage. I can kind of see the potential-ish, but we're gonna keep that to an ish because in the end, you don't have that much chance for outspeeding things. Like, sure, you can outspeed something like this, but then again, everything can outspeed something like that, so it's not that interesting. Whereas the Lamela team is also just a really strong team for Team 2, and this is also one of those, like, just to showcase one final time, this team over here, and then we're gonna call it a video. And yeah, let me know in the comments also what kind of teams with Daniel do you recommend for, maybe for Siege. I guess that these things for Siege, the Tiana version of it, it does good damage. It does good damage if you land all. That's definitely a thing. If everything is super tanky, maybe against the very specific teams on a, what would it be called? Like a Gandalf? Light Gandalf? I think he's good against Light Gandalf because he does stun a Light Gandalf. So I can see him have value and flavor in there. In this case, are you on will? You are on will, so technically I could hit this. But let's see if that does actually work. We would trigger the Abellio, though. Do we actually trigger the Abellio? Yeah, I think we would trigger the Abellio, which maybe might be kind of bad, but let's just see. That's also where Chunk Punk comes in a little bit more nice, especially if we don't properly land in the first place. But let's see. You don't actually trigger Abellio. That is fairly interesting. Wow, that is actually kind of nice. Okay, I must say, I kind of like this team. This team is kind of nice. I think I will be using this for as much as I do want to use Daniel out there, because this team actually does have some killing potential with the Wuchi in there. So the Wuchi is kind of nice. So also for you, if you do happen to have a Daniel but nothing else, which odds are kind of low, you could maybe be looking at a team like this, because this team is actually pretty sophisticated and pretty solid. If you do happen to have these units, at least, that's also definitely a thing right there. But yeah, all of the other teams trying to get a slow and then trying to get multi-hits. Too many RNG checks. The only RNG check there is right now is for the Wuchi to actually land the shits and then go from there. But also what I'm planning to do is a stream somewhere later this week to get this account towards P1. I'm not sure if that's already doable, but I think we can get pretty far to get this to P1. I did do a few matches already, and yeah, let's just see. Can we get this account P1 within a month? That is definitely the idea. I think we can potentially quite do that. Maybe we can even make that under 20 days. So I would have to do that stream from the recording of this video within 3 days. Yeah, that's doable. Yeah, maybe Monday or Tuesday, we're gonna go for some RTAs on this account and see how far we're ready. Well, guys, thanks a lot for watching for this one. See you as always in the next one.
Thanks for watching. If you would like to see more guides, join the Discord and check out the content tab for the guide video archive, which contains all of the guides that you might need. Hope to see you there.